The warmest of welcomes to you indeed to match day 2 in the West region of the 2022 AFC Champions League and the splendid setting of the King Fahd International Stadium in Riyadh. A splendid setting for what should be a splendid game. Sharjah of the United Arab Emirates against FC Istiklol of Tajikistan. This matters. It's early on and somebody runs the risk of losing touch with the chasing pack or even the peloton. Both teams began with losses, entertaining losses, close losses, heartbreaking losses. In the case of Istiklol, 3-2 to Al Rayyan. For Sharjah, a 2-1 defeat by Al Hilal. The host team, if you will, in the group for this is taking place, all of these matches in Saudi Arabia. But this is a long haul. There is time. They say it's a marathon, not a sprint. Well, with the games lined up so close together, it's a marathon that you do also have to sprint at the same time. It's a very tough competition, the AFC Champions League, to get out of the group in the right direction. And to add to that, only the top team is guaranteed a place in the round of 16, with the 3 best second-place teams in each region also advancing. But that can come down to calculus and something of a lottery-style sensation for fans as they wait to see if they've made it through in a runner-up berth. Everyone hoping to avoid that. A big match taking place in this group, therefore, as Sharjah face Istiklol. And it should be real entertainment based on what we've seen of these two sides and the way that they actually conduct their business on the field of play. They are entertaining. Istiklol scored very early on in their meeting with Al Rayyan. Just 3 minutes on the clock before Shahram Suleimanov found the back of the net. Then they went 2-1 down, got it back to 2-2 and lost 3-2. What was clear was that Mubin Ershagayev's team really does struggle when it comes to decisiveness from set pieces. Can Sharjah exploit that? Are we going to get a goal-heavy meeting, the first time that these sides have ever faced each other? I'll leave that to you to ponder, and to them as well, gathered in the King Fahd International Stadium in Riyadh, which was opened in 1987. It's been heavily renovated since then, as I'm sure you can tell. It looks spick and span.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Sharjah FC and FC Istiklol.
The time for talking to the players is done. It is time for activity on their part. From across the West region in the AFC, the finest club sides have gathered in these host cities for the group stage of the 2022 AFC Champions League. And this is a meeting between Sharjah, the team known as the King, and Istiklol, the team known as the Lions. Therefore, the Lion Kings take to the pitch. And this is one of 6 crucial games in the AFC Champions League. It's all part of the circle of life in the group stage of this massive competition. Nothing will be decided today, but certainly whoever loses this, if somebody does lose this, at the end of match day 2, they're going to start to feel more than a little out of touch when looking up at the rest of the table. Will it be the kind of contest that sees both sides really attack as they did, particularly Istiklol, for their first game? Or will they be happy to simply avoid 2 consecutive defeats? The time for supposition draws to a close. The time for action begins. Here at the King Fahd International Stadium in Riyadh, it's Sharjah of the United Arab Emirates taking on FC Istiklol of Tajikistan. getting to know each other still, lots of the Istiklol players. They're really not a fully formed team yet. So many signed on the 31st of March, right before the start of this competition. And they know each other a lot better. Adel Al-Hossani has played every minute of the league season so far, so it's no surprise that he continues as first choice goalkeeper today. New to the Champions League is number 3 Al-Hassan Saleh, making just his 3rd appearance in defence. Number 7 Caio Lucas is getting close to 50 appearances in the AFC Champions League and is 1 away from 10 goals. Two captains, Shaheen Abdul Rahman and Manucher Jalilov. Two changes have been made from the starting 11 that lost 3-2 to Al Rayyan. Number 5 is Iskandar Jalilov, who came on as a substitute in that game. Starts along with number 17, Vladislav Kazminin, who makes his debut today for the Tajik champions. The defence, therefore, changes, but the attack remains the same. And why not? This team is exciting up front. Particular eye will be on Shahram Suleimanov, wearing number 70, out wide on the left. Substitutes for Sharjah include some youngsters who are yet to play in the league, such as number 33, Hamad Fahad. And on the bench for Istiklol, young striker Rustam Soyrov will be hoping to get longer than the 10 minutes of action he saw in the first game. We are therefore just a matter of a few moments away from kick-off in this, the second match day. The second match day in the 2022 AFC Champions League. Group A gets underway as Sharjah of the United Arab Emirates take on FC Istiklol of Tajikistan. Both of these teams at the bottom end of the group with nothing to show from their first fixtures. A loss 2-1 to Al Hilal for Sharjah, and for FC Istiklol it was a 3-2 defeat to Al Rayyan. Opportunity for the number 90 and very new signing for Istiklol, Eric Bokum. Cosmin Olariu, head coach of Sharjah. So an early corner kick for the Tajik national champions, the Lions. It will be Shahram Suleimanov to take it, who scored in the 3rd minute against Al Rayyan. Suleimanov was looking, I believe, for Iskandar Jalilov, 29-year-old, who is from Dushanbe, the capital city of Tajikistan, where Istiklol is based. Very crowded around the goalkeeper. Mohamed Isayev is the only player further out, and again it was looking for the flick on from Jalilov. Not really an effective looking corner kick. And comfortably and harmlessly behind the goal of Adel Al-Hossani. Mubin Ergashiev, the head coach. Flick on is challenging for Iskandar Jalilov. He does okay with Caio Lucas trying to get on the end of it, playing his 48th AFC Champions League game. Extraordinarily successful over a number of clubs in the AFC region. 27-year-old who did attend the latter part of high school in Japan at Kokusai before going on to play for the Kashima Antlers. I'm sure many of you remember his spell there, very distinguished. He was a runner-up in the 2016 competition. The captain of Sharjah is Shaheen Abdul Rahman, and the goalkeeper for Istiklol, Rustam Yatimov, gets early hands on the ball. Number 28 for Sharjah is Ben Malango from the Democratic Republic of Congo. 6 goals in the league in 17 appearances, none since November. He's on a 7-game run without scoring at club level, though he did score for the national team on the 29th of March in their loss to Morocco. Good close control from Shervuni Mabatshoev. They are an exciting side, Istiklol, and what one has to bear in mind is how so many of these players have only just met for the first time. When a squad changes with such amplitude as this squad has changed, really is a grand overhaul of the playing squad, then it is going to take quite some time for them to really understand how they work as a cohesive unit. And perhaps that led to some of the defensive issues they had in their first game. Tricky one for the captain to deal with, and now giving chase and actually doing very well to keep that in play was the fullback Al Hassan Saleh. It's just his 3rd game in the AFC Champions League. 30-year-old joined the club from Emirates Club. Another corner kick, this time one on the other side by Eric Bokoum. Player from Gabon. And we look at Adel Al-Hossani, the 32-year-old, who is pretty well the first name on the Sharjah team sheet. Every minute played in the league. Comfortably cleared. 27-year-old from Aracatuba in Sao Paulo, Caio Lucas. Offside against Mumadjon Rahimov. Played long by Al-Hossani. Chasing it is Bernard. Debuting Vladislav Kazminin. Changed the central defenders. Istiklol, after such issues, particularly from set-piece situations against Al Rayyan. It's decisive action from Mubin Ergashiev. Jalilov is the captain for Istiklol, and hitting a shot that will not really warrant inclusion into the end-of-game highlights. Nuruddin Davronov. They are delighted, though, to have Davronov back at the club at Istiklol. His 6th spell, can you believe? He's played extensively in continental competitions, not just the Champions League, but the AFC Cup and the President's Cup. Saleh. A little miscommunication there between Chicherin and his fellow defenders. Nikita Chicherin had some difficulties in the game against Al Rayyan, particularly with the 3rd goal, came off him. Saleh. Chasing it is Iskandar Jalilov, does very well actually. And there is Nikita Chicherin. That was shall we say, a touch on the ambitious side, but it's okay. Isayev has it. Unable to control it, Mohammadjon Rahimov, 23-year-old, who is another of the returners to the club. A new signing, but nominally a new signing, one might say, because he just had a very brief spell of only 7 league games at Ordubasi in Kazakhstan last season, after a 4-year spell that Istiklol ended, but turns out not to have ended. Foul on Caio Lucas. Being a touch grappled with by Chicherin. #29 is Otabek Shukurov, who scored the only goal that they have produced so far, Sharjah, in the 2-1 loss to Al Hilal. Isayev. Getting a touch was Abdullah Kazim. 25-year-old who joined the club from Al Wasl last year. Had a very important loan spell, Kazim, at Hatta. And the 2 years leading up to it really identified him as a player worth giving first-team opportunities to. But he hasn't really had that much involvement in the first team this season. That's why a competition like this is so useful to a player like him. Hasn't actually been involved in the first team since New Year's Eve. In the league, that is. One of the Brazilians in the team, Bernard, from Belo Horizonte in the beautiful state of Minas Gerais. Shahram Suleimanov. Really rather aimless, easy one for Al Hassan Saleh. That's kept in by Caio Lucas. Quick work, very good work. Caio Lucas, can he shoot? He can, but it's blocked. Comes off Chicherin. That was perhaps alarming for Istiklol, how easily Caio Lucas did that. 28 is Malango. Chervoni Mambadshoev, one of the players who has been for Istiklol for an absolute age by comparison to other members of the squad. He joined last year from CSKA Pamir Dushanbe. Very careless and reckless and unpunished. Yet again, concerns defensively for the team that has just recently won their 8th national championship in a row. 10 times in total they've been national champions, 8 times the Tajik Cup, 10 times the Super Cup. Yet to play in the league this season. The first games have only just happened. Chicherin. Rahimov. Was clearly fouled by Al Hassan Saleh. Another needless and late challenge. Goes over the top of the number 13, Salem Sultan. It's a good idea from Bernard. Clever ball, very clever ball. In the area is Malango. He's on the edge of the penalty spot, but it's been deflected behind. Hands on his hips. Ben Malango certainly was hoping that was going to be played into him. It's another chance, though, for Cosmin Olaroyo's team. And it will be the player who joined from Everton in the Premier League. Bernard, it's onside. And drifting back was Caio Lucas, hoping for a shorter ball. It might have been a good idea to play that to him. He found space on the edge of the area. Majed Suro. Well played by the 24-year-old, and less so there. Doesn't score huge numbers of goals. The most recent one was in the 4-2 win in the AFC Champions League over Al Duhail in September 2020. Quickly played on by 28-year-old Salem Sultan to his captain, Abdul Rahman. What the Sharjah creative players have an irritating tendency to do if you're the opposition is they will drift around from flank to flank. People like Bernard and Caio Lucas can operate quite freely, and it does allow them to engineer some space to sometimes go a touch unnoticed. And there is Caio Lucas. And he's been fouled as Majed Suro was hoping to be involved in that. Bernard. And it goes beyond Ben Malango. experienced is Ben Malango. He's played in the African Champions League for a couple of clubs, as well as now involving himself in this competition. Actually won the CAF Confederations Cup on 2 occasions. Did it once with Raja Casablanca and also with Tupuisan Mazembe. Suleimanov. That's clever by Suleimanov, and then he produces the wrong weight of the pass to Manocher Jalilov. A real let-off for Sharjah. Shukurov. Caio Lucas is now drifted from right back to left. Bokum. Good control, but the player's been pulled back. And it was the foul by the captain, Jalilov, on Otabek Shukurov. Sultan. Saleh. Caio Lucas. To Ben Malango, across goal. Good play from Ben Malango, looking for Abdullah Kazim. And it was well defended too by the debuting Vladislav Kazminin. Very important touch, urging vigilance from his colleagues in the Lions' defence. Goes up and away, and in the end is actually headed behind Caio Lucas, the first player, but Iskandar Jalilov helped it across the line. As expected, the centre-back Shaheen Abdul Rahman and Salem Sultan have moved into the penalty area in anticipation of this delivery from Bernard. And his delivery does meet Shaheen Abdul Rahman, who did score in the 2-2 draw with Al Oruba on the 28th of October in the league. We approach the latter portion of this first half between Sharjah and Istiklol, teams from the United Arab Emirates and Tajikistan respectively, contesting match day 2 in Group A of the 2022 AFC Champions League. The skillful and creative Eric Bokum up front for Istiklol. We haven't really seen the very finest from him yet. He's only just joined on loan from Gol Gohar in the Persian Gulf Pro League in Iran. He barely played in the league last season, so this is an important move for him. Shervuni Mabatshoev will restart the play. Shahram Suleimanov to swing this one inwards towards Adel Al-Hossani. Both times they've gone for a flick on from Jalilov. It hasn't really worked. This time he doesn't even get the chance to try that. And those are weak deliveries. 3 corner kicks really not used at all by Istiklol. Salah. .23-year-old Rustam Yatimov joined the club in 2018. Has played some 20-plus games for the national team already. Played in 6 of their 7 AFC Champions League games last season, as a foul has been committed on the captain, Jalilov. And like his goalkeeper, he also started his career in Russia, at Lokomotiv Moscow in his case. Nuruddin Davronov standing over it as Adel Al-Hossani lines up the defensive wall. It is yet another really rather absurd attempt from Nuruddin Davronov. It was marginally closer than his shot from open play. If that is some crumb of comfort. Isayev goes out of play. He scored a beautiful goal from outside the area in the 68th minute of the game against Al Rayyan. And Suleimanov also produced a wonderful effort from long range, so there's no doubt that they can and do hit from distance most effectively, Istiklol. But it remains a hypothesis at the moment. Bochum. Rahimov. Jalilov, touched by Bochum, does eventually work its way back to Kazminin. Now Eric Bochum, a little space, pulls it across goal. That's brilliant play. And the man who finishes, he's always the man who finishes. It's the captain, Manucher Jalilov, his 4th ever Champions League goal. And the man who is unstoppable in the league for this team. It's Sharjah 0, Istiklol 1. And it was created by one of the new players, Eric Bokum. First time he's really had any space, and this is excellent decision-making, but it's also a very good finish. And credit must be paid to Mabatshoev as well for his part in that. Finishes most with his left foot. Steered that one in a treat though. Very good quality play from FC Istiklol. Manucher Jelilov, the man who got 20 goals, or 20 games and 18 goals, I should say, in the league last season. Just before the half-hour mark, Manucher Jelilov beating Adel Al-Hossani from close range. No real opportunity for the goalkeeper to do anything about it. It was the quality of Eric Bokum's delivery. He does not tend to miss that sort of close-range chance. And if those two can link up with that degree of effectiveness and do it consistently, then Eric Bokum is going to be a very fine acquisition for Mubin Ergashiev's team. Kaya Lucas has it for Sharjah, who have quietened down after a reasonably promising opening. Bernard. Left by Kaya Lucas, and then a little layoff from Khaled Ibrahim. Didn't quite achieve what it was intended to. Bernard slips as he plays it. Davonov controls it well. Out wide to Rahimov. Pressure being put on by Sharjah, but to no avail. Davonov with a good idea to play it to Shavuni Mabatshoev, who acknowledged the quality of the vision. And Hassan Saleh. A little flick on from Kaya Lucas, finds Ben Malango. Bernard. The creativity that is in this Sharjah team makes one feel they must surely create a chance soon, and Kaya Lucas is going to get himself booked. The referee absolutely clear, without really a moment's hesitation, that that was an attempt to deceive. Let us review this moment. Absolutely is, isn't it? And it's a particularly poor one, and it's a particularly embarrassing one, and it gets more embarrassing for Kaya Lucas every time we look at it. And this could be problematic. The goalkeeper's lost it. Oh dear. Adel Al-Hossani, if this ball is cleared, will breathe a very big sigh of relief. I had it all under control, he hopes we'll think. As it turned out, that little touch he got was just enough to stop Manucher Jalilov putting the ball in. And one thing that one must do in the spirit of being glass half full and not glass half empty, okay, he misjudged that, but he got himself out of a very difficult and potentially hugely embarrassing situation. Not textbook goalkeeping, but good enough by fingertips and nails. What an excellent ball from the 26-year-old from Libreville in Gabon. Wonderful pass for Manucher Jalilov. Certainly showing that Bochum understands the kind of player that's alongside him, the sort of finisher he is. Vladislav Kasminin goes back to Yatimov. 10 minutes until the half-time interval, factoring in any stoppage time, for which there, as things stand, won't be an enormous amount. Yes, he was really hoping there, Al Hassan Saleh, that was going to go his way. Almost. He does do enough, doesn't he, the goalkeeper? Just about. He's very ably assisted on the goal line too. Sometimes the bounce deceives. And many a very fine goalkeeper has had that happen to them. Kaya Lucas going from flank to flank, but not yet achieving an end product. What about this for an end product? That is beautiful work, and the shot comes in the end off Isayev and goes behind from Otabek Shukurov. Abdullah Kazim nearly balletically danced his way through the entire defence. In the end, Ben Malango's shot against Mohammadjon Rahimov. It affords Bernard the chance to deliver the corner kick. Goes short this time. And it's all the way back to Majed Surur. Goes really into Isayev, and Isayev blocks again. Really good defending from Mohamed Isayev. Jalilov. The touch was from Saleh. Little pressure on Otabek Shukurov, but he was calm. Rahimov won't get it back. The cross was promising. Well, the 31-year-old, the difference at the moment. A man who rejoined the club in 2020 from spells in Indonesia with Persebaya, Surabaya and Sriwijaya. Safety first from Abdul Rahman. Then Malango. This runs into Iskandar Jalilov. The Istiklol defence is looking a little better than against Al Rayyan, but with still some concerns. Shukurov. The man from Chirakchi in the southeast of Uzbekistan. Bernard. Beautifully played by Bernard. It's a great chance and it's almost over the line. Yet again, Abdullah Kazim in a super position. It's a great ball, it's a great opportunity, and it's just kept out by Rustam Yatimov. It seemed to rebound off him. For a moment, one feels that Kazim saw that ball crossing the line. One suspects that Yatimov did with great worry. Malango. More comfortable this time for the 23-year-old. Effective, though, from Bernard. A man who's played over 350 games across 4 countries. As this game is paused momentarily. Nikita Chicherin in a collision of some fashion with Malango. Oh, is it that he gets caught with the boot? Let's have a look. Around about here, well, hard to see exactly what it was. Meanwhile, the opportunity for Abdullah Kazim, who's never scored for Sharjah in any competition. Last few minutes of this, the first half in the second match day of Group A in the West region of the 2022 AFC Champions League, as Sharjah of the United Arab Emirates trail FC Istiklol of Tajikistan by 1-0. A very fine predatory finish from Manucher Jalilov. In the 29th minute, the excellent pass from Eric Bokum, his new strike partner. Nonetheless, Sharjah should feel hopeful that they can change the game in the second half. And when one looks at the luxury of creativity that exists in their midfield, it would be surprising, heavily disappointing for them if they can't do that. Especially when adding in the extra factor into the equation of the defensive problems that Istiklol do have. And all of that should give us a jolly good fun second half. in the right-back position for Sharjah. Khalid Ibrahim, the 25-year-old who joined from Al Wahda a couple of years ago. And it goes to him now. 7 is Caio Lucas. Clever ball to Bernard, quickly plays it on to Saleh. They've got a chance to get this in, and the quality was not there. It was too easy for Nikita Chicherin. Shukurov. Bernard. Played on by the captain, Shaheen Abdul Rahman. Here is Khalid Ibrahim, the fullback. Abachoev. As the announcement of stoppage time is made, and Sharjah contemplate last opportunities in this final minute. Certainly should be a rather interesting second half. Not really any doubt about that. It's just a fair old clonk across the shin from Abdul Rahman on Bokum. And it will likely restrict Sharjah to no further chances in the first half. And they will think back to that opportunity for Abdullah Kazim and some others. Bernard goes back. Is there one last chance to send the ball forwards before the conclusion of play and the halfway mark of this contest? One very well taken goal by Manucher Jalilov, set up by Eric Bokum. The sort of player you want the ball to fall to several yards out. The sort of player who makes sure the ball falls to him several yards out. Chances, chances and chances for Sharjah, but they haven't been able to get the ball beyond Rustam Yatimov. All of this sets up a very well-poised second half. They will be in good spirits, the Istiklol fans, but they will note that there is some way to go, and they'll be hoping that all is well for Eric Bokum, because they're going to need him in the second half, so well has he been playing in the first. Over now to the players from the United Arab Emirates to see how they can transform this game after the half-time interval. As things stand, it's Sharjah 0, FC Istiklol 1. The second half shortly to begin in this match between Sharjah of the United Arab Emirates and FC Istiklol of Tajikistan on match day 2 of the 2022 AFC Champions League. It's Group A and the setting is the King Fahd International Stadium in Riyadh. And because of him, the Tajik champions are leading. And what a nice goal it was too, with the number 90, Eric Bokum, spotting the run of the great finisher of the Tajik leagues. Thus we begin the second half. In possession, Sharjah of the United Arab Emirates, attacking a 1-goal deficit to FC Istiklol, the national champions from Tajikistan. Sharjah were 4th in the league last season. They had to go through a playoff round to get here, beating Al Zahra of Iraq on a penalty competition after a 1-1 draw. They are the most successful team in their particular emirate, winning 6 league titles, 8 Presidents' Cups, 2 Super Cups. They were the first ever league champions of the United Arab Emirates in 1974. And they are taking on the 10 times national champions, 8 years in a row, the most successful team in the history of football in Tajikistan. Possession for Sharjah is Al Hassan Saleh, playing at left back. Kyle Lucas, who will drift, if the first half is anything to go by, between the right and left wings, as that is headed wide by Ben Malanga, who feels that his shirt was being tugged. Let's keep an eye on number 17, Vladislav Kasminin. His shirt was being tugged, and should that not be therefore a foul, and should that not therefore be a penalty kick? Some good chances for Sharjah, particularly Abdullah Kazim, the 25-year-old who's never scored for the club. Almost got the ball beyond Rustam Yatimov. And Kyle Lucas again has Bernard this time coming up for support. Kyle Lucas tries to go through on his own. Bernard just skips in slight frustration that wasn't played back to him. Bernard again goes down, and he's won a free kick right on the edge of the area. Just a moment of trepidation there for the Istiklol players and fans. Certainly the contact did happen outside. Shove in the back by Mohammadjon Rahimov. Difficult position for the Istiklol defence to contend with. They've shown vulnerability from set pieces already in this season's AFC Champions League. That was really their undoing against Al Rayyan. Bernard's delivery, it is cleared, but at some cost to Rahimov, who took that ball pretty well straight in the head. seemed to be quite a stinger for the 23-year-old. Yes, it's a tricky one because it does rather jar his neck as he connects with it. It's not at all where you want to be aiming to head the ball. Seemed to catch him right on the top of the head. Seemed to have poured some water on him, so I'm sure that'll be fine now. Having a cheeky snack of some instant noodles. Where he plugged the kettle in. Checking they're in the right seats. Majed Suro. Oh, what a good move, and the finish does not match. No wonder he reacts like that. Oh, Caio Lucas scored 8 goals in the league this season. I would expect him to find the target there. He did really rather snatch at it. Good contribution so far from Eric Bokum, the loan signing from the Persian Gulf Pro League. Well, for Sharjah, should they wish to make any changes over the next little while, the obvious player to come on when chasing a goal would be someone like Salem Saleh. Useful creativity in Saif Rashid as well. One wonders if Rubin Ergashiev might be tempted to bring on some experienced defenders or midfielders, particularly players like Saedi Kovusho. But too early to start trying to hold on to this game yet. Clever touch. And then move rather peters out, but it does end in a corner kick. Chicherin was just given enough to ponder by Majed Suro to make him play it behind. From the edge of the area, it takes a couple of touches and goes in. Caio Lucas with the equaliser, and after all of the attempts that Sharjah have made to construct something meaningful and creative and intricate, in the end, just hit it from distance and see what happens. One apiece. Caio Lucas with his 10th Champions League goal. Looks as though it gets a touch off Kasminin. Does it actually? Yes, it does. And crucially too, perhaps. Sharjah draw level. Caio Lucas, the Brazilian from Araçatuba in São Paulo, who joined the club last year permanently after a successful loan spell. And he is so steeped in Champions League football. This is his 48th game in the competition. Wrestling with Jalilov. For a moment there was Abdullah Kazim with Kasminin. A disappointment for Istiklol, no doubt. An unfortunate moment for Vladislav Kasminin. Now, what kind of reaction will we see from Mubin Ergashiev's team? The way they played against Al Rayyan, it was clear that they did not become despondent when conceding. Kept attacking. All of this, one hopes, suspects even, has set us up for a very good conclusion to the game. Here is Malango. There was Malango. Trying to counter with purpose, but completely misplaced. It's a shame because Shervuni Mabatshoev was really getting forward on the left. To the right back, Khaled Ibrahim. Bernard. Malango back to Bernard. Kazim, and then going down. Was he fouled? It doesn't matter! It doesn't matter at all! Because it's the other Brazilian, Bernard, who makes it 2-1 to Sharjah, and Istiklol have let the game completely turn against them. Yatimov stunned. Bernard, clinical. 3 minutes between the two goals. Look at the Istiklol players. They cannot fathom this. They are thrilled in the stands. Important in that was Abdullah Kazim. And they stopped, didn't they, just for a moment, the Istiklol players, after what looked like it might have been a foul on Caio Lucas. And that moment of hesitation, suddenly Bernard's there, and he does finish well. Time stood still, and then suddenly the seconds had ticked away. Fouled is Shervuni Mabatshoev by Majed Surur, who is given a yellow card. And just think about moments ago when, do you know what? That challenge is really rather unpleasant. Goodness me. Majed Surur is, shall we say, fortunate that he is able to continue this game, and Shervuni Mabatshoev is fortunate that he is able to as well. Quite simply, that is an unacceptable tackle from the number 6 for Sharjah. Shahram Suleimanov. Oh, wasted, but he'll get another chance. Or will he? Or will he? Abdullah Kazim does so well. And then maybe just pushed his luck a little. Bernard. They have confused, even confounded Istiklol. The two Brazilians, Caio Lucas and Bernard, flitting around. Every time you look, they've swapped places. And they are making it most unpleasant for the defence of the Tajik national champions. All rather messy. Play restarted by Khaled Ibrahim. Abdul Rahman. Well chested down there by Ben Malanga. What a good touch. Caio Lucas will go, of course, to Bernard. Score of the second goal for Sharjah. 3 minutes after his fellow countryman equalised. Played out by Salim Sultan. He's played 14 times in the league this season, Sultan, after only 9 appearances last time round, the most that he's ever played in the league. He was more of a semi-regular at Al Wahda before coming to Sharjah. Davronov has to go back. Okum. It's found its way to Mabat Shoev. And foul is committed by the 21-year-old. Into the last 30 minutes of what feels like something of a good old-fashioned back-and-forth game. It's quite remarkable just how little of the ball Sharjah have seen and how inconsequential that is when you have players like Caio Lucas and Bernard. As ever, it's him. And Abdullah Kazim as well is looking like an important part of this little triangle. He hasn't been allowed to be as explosive in the attacking portion of the pitch as he was against Al Rayyan. So a corner kick to Sharjah. It's played short. It's Khaled Ibrahim, unlikely source to put that ball in. It was touched on by Caio Lucas. Well, there the possession statistics are a little more easy to understand. Not the wrong way round. It's good pressure put on by the Sharjah front line. Kyle Lucas particularly. You have to reset and go back to Yatimov. It's touched on and just evades the veteran striker Manucher Jalilov. Sharjah starting to exercise meaningful control over this game. And yet, it doesn't feel fully secure. Especially not with that slip by Bernard. Suleimanov, still Suleimanov, Bernard getting back and just interrupting sufficiently. It was anxious defending by Bernard, but it worked. And meanwhile, Abdullah Kazim is being replaced by Saif Rashid. 27-year-old who has been with the club his whole career coming on. Wide player who was born in the Emirate of Sharjah. He made his first team debut back in 2011. Much respected part of the team, very esteemed by the fans. It's played quickly by Rashid, the substitute, gets it back again, already creating some space. Rashid with a very good ball, nice idea. And then Malango looks across and nods, and gives him the thumbs up. What a good start by the substitute. Ibrahim. Substitute Rashid keeps possession for his team. Played 9 times in the league this season. Just 4 starts, 1 goal. Scored in the 3-0 win over Bani Yas on the 26th of December. Improvised by Malango, and allows Suro to play it to Malango. Important challenge from Chicherin. No foul against Majed Suro. And never really looking likely from Kyle Lucas. Poor challenge on Bernard, who clutches his right leg. And the referee clutches a yellow card for Mohammadjon Rahimov. turned down a new contract in Kazakhstan for Ordabasi to return to Istiklol. He's close to getting the ball, but there's no question about it. Clearly a foul and worthy of caution. Seems to be in better spirits now, and better condition, Bernard. And because of him, the team is in better spirits and better condition. The substitution is a fine opportunity for a young player who comes on to replace the man who scored the goal that gave Istiklol the lead. It's Rustam Soyrov. Just 19 is the number 9. Really was super last season. 15 goals in 24 appearances. And how they need that now in the AFC Champions League. He's getting an additional 10 minutes compared to what he had against Al Rayyan. In a determined bid from Mubin El-Ghashiev to prevent this from being another game where Istiklol take the lead and go on to lose. And here is the substitute, Rustam Soyrov. Just a moment of hesitation perhaps, but he wins a corner kick from Al Hassan Saleh. The corner to be delivered by Rahimov. It's a great corner actually. Goalkeeper was challenged a little too physically by Eric Bokum though. All ends in good humour. No complaints from Bokum. Great performance from Kaya Lucas. Played in the UEFA Champions League as well, the Brazilian for Benfica during his 2-year spell there. Now but Shoaib just goes beyond Suleimanov. Bernard, clever spot out to Rashid. And Sharjah now just exercising caution in the way they build up their attacks, not taking needless risks. Nobody passed that memo to Shaheen Abdul Rahman. Just something very effective about the way those two Brazilian players can control this game. They have a degree of unpredictability about them that is most problematic if you're playing against them. Caio Lucas, well saved by Yatimov. Please see attached the aforementioned unpredictability. Now he's on the other side. The last 15 minutes or so for FC Istiklol. A game that now is looking increasingly in the control of the team from the Emirate of Sharjah. They've been a great cup team over the years, 8 times winners of the President's Cup. This is their 4th time in the AFC Champions League, 3rd consecutive. Their best ever performance was when they made the quarter-finals in their first time in the competition back in 2004. Both teams went out in the round of 16 last time, to Al Wahda in the case of Sharjah and to Persepolis for their opponents from Tajikistan. Bokum had his shirt tugged, play goes on, advantage. Referee certainly spotted it. Soyrov plays it out to the wing, drifts into the area. That goes out to the other flank for the number 70, Shahram Suleimanov. Bokum. Shoev, and behind for a corner kick, just couldn't quite get that through. He hasn't had the sort of freedom he had against Al Rayyan. Islam Zairov is to come on. Player who made his Champions League debut in that loss to Persepolis in the knockout stage. And the corner kick is just touched behind by Ben Malango, with Vladislav Kasminin hoping that he would be the beneficiary of a deflection on this occasion. And that one will go comfortably behind for Adel Al-Hossani. Now the change will see Islam Zairov to replace Shahram Suleimanov, 20-year-old from Kulyab, about 200 kilometers southeast of Dushanbe in the south of Tajikistan. And the player who has been cautioned, Majed Surur, looks like he's going to find it difficult to leave. Mohammed Abdul Basit is the player who is preparing to come on for his 26th appearance in the AFC Champions League. And we look back at Caio Lucas's earlier shot against Rustam Yatimov from some distance. Difficult one for Yatimov, potentially. Could have easily bounced under him. He handled it appropriately. Yes, he's a tricky old player, Caio Lucas. Over 200 appearances and around 95 goals in all competitions for all clubs. take the throw in. It is Khalid Ibrahim, another of these players who has started to become a big part of the team relatively recently. 15 starts in the league this season. 19 appearances in total. Trying to hold on to the ball was Malango, and he has at least impeded the prospect of Istiklol beginning a counter-attack, with really the game looking now as though Sharjah are beginning to shut it down a touch. Al Hassan Saleh. Does well. Draws a smile from Bernard. Khalid Ibrahim. Oh, that's has to be a yellow card. That is the embodiment of a cynical challenge from Khalid Ibrahim. It's never really nice to see that sort of thing. It's one of those unavoidable grey areas, really, in the laws of the game. And there isn't really a sport that doesn't have that opportunity for exploitation. Headed clear by Vladislav Kasminin. It will go to the captain of Sharjah, Abdul Rahman. Kaya Lucas, impeccable control as ever, and good vision, good decision making. Rashid was certainly brought down. Just little things like that that make Kaya Lucas so effective at relieving pressure. Bernard. He loses out in that 50-50 challenge with Islam Zairov. Showed absolutely no reluctance to get involved there. Well, for FC Istiklol, what is it that they need to do to create more chances? Are they going to have to consider now the withdrawal of a defender just to try to overload a little more? Perhaps bring on someone like Akhtam Nazarov. They don't have a lot of options from a substitute's perspective. Well, this is most problematic for Khalid Ibrahim and has led to a very interesting conclusion to this game, because now Sharjah are reduced. A red card for Ibrahim. An absurd decision for him to make. What on earth is he doing? It can only lead to one outcome. And immediately there is hope for Mubin Ergashiyev's side. He looks mortified. Now they will have to alter the shape. Lost the right back. A chance for Istiklol. Rahimov. And the header goes over the top. Oh, Shaveni Mabatshoev roars at himself in disappointment, in fury. He's calmer, but he's no happier. That really is a chance, you know. And a very good chance. So with a few minutes plus additional time for stoppages to be factored in, AFC Istiklol have been given an unexpected window of opportunity. For Sharjah now, it's simply about good old-fashioned, simple defence. Mabatshoev coming back is Rashid, who is likely now to really have to function with much more depth and less attacking intent. And one wonders what was in the mind of Khalid Ibrahim when he made that challenge. Bernard is withdrawn. Majid Rashid to replace him. Very defensively minded change, this. Rashid will just operate in front of the defence, one suspects. 21-year-old. And there the ball has just evaded Mabatshoev and Soyrov at the same time. The flag is up. It is of no consequence. More frustration for young Mabatshoev. Certainly seemed it. One suspects this is going to cater to one of the great football cliches, which is there's always going to be one more big chance left. And can Istiklol fashion it, and more importantly, take it? What if they do things like that? Ben Malango will be perfectly content to take a little time to get back to a standing position. Kasminin goes long. Stoppage time approaches. How much of it for the national champions from Tajikistan in this Group A match, the second match day of the 2022 AFC Champions League. Istiklol, as things stand, are going to end up with no points. They have 4 minutes to change it. Clumsy and a frustrated sort of challenge from Zairov, who just bundled over Shukurov. Chasing it down is Rustam Soyrov. Istiklol will keep possession. Rashid making things complicated for Istiklol as best he can. That's a silly foul from Saif Rashid. It gives Nuruddin Davronov the chance to deliver a complex and confounding set piece, to look to find someone like Eric Bokum. What on earth was that all about? Honestly, let's seem a little on the exaggerated side, shall we say? Davronov. Oh, it's going to fall. No, it's not. It's not. The flag is up. Just for a moment, it looked as though Rahimov might be free. Foul by Kasminin. There, clear pull of the shirt, tug of the arm on Talim Sultan. Good refereeing. And it means that just 2 minutes remain of the stoppage time. It's been very well administered by Sharjah. They have really not allowed Istiklol any meaningful opportunities. And perhaps that old adage of there always being one more big chance as you go into stoppage time is going to turn out to not be the case here. Kaya Lucas, excellent game. Delightful skill, runs out of options though. Even then he hassles Davronov, meaning that he almost mishits the pass, but here we go. Shoev, and then just miscontrols it. Too heavy a touch. 1 minute left. Sharjah, who lost their opening game 2-1 to Al Hilal, look as though they're going to be back in business. Jalilov long, verging on aimless. What an excellent turnaround from the team from the United Arab Emirates. There is, one suspects, solely this opportunity now for Istiklol to create an attack, and they have seemed not to be playing against a team that is down by one player. Sharjah have absorbed that so impressively. The two Brazilian players, Caio Lucas and Bernard, made the difference. FC Istiklol took the lead, but they could not hold on. Those two from Arasatuba and Belo Horizonte bringing a little joy to Sharjah. And the team that started with the 2-1 loss to Al Hilal are now on the board in Group A, as Istiklol, their opponents today, have nothing to show for some impressive and promising football. It is how things work in the AFC Champions League. Things can be going very well 1 minute and they can go very wrong the next. It took 3 minutes, that's all, for Sharjah to absolutely transform the match. As a result, it finishes Sharjah 2, FC Istiklol 1.